take sabbatical. To haters that are radical, I'm savage like a catapult, hiking like a Viking, armed and ready for destruction. I came to murder hip-hop, fuck all of your discussions. My ancestors wore zoot suits, riots left them foolproof. Stronger than a diamond and I'm shining like a gold tooth. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a brand spanking new episode of the Friday Podcast. Sorry. A token cough for the token. It's been a minute. It's been an interesting summer. So I lied last summer because I said, next summer I'm going to work. I'm not going to take, I lied. I took off. I'm going back to work pretty soon. It's been hard to just turn on the camera and get recording. I don't know why. I have been working on the album. It's nearly done being recorded. It still has to be mixed and stuff, but it's my favorite stuff that I've ever created. And not only that, but I think it's the best stuff I ever created because I feel like it's more for a broader audience as opposed to what I've been doing in the last 2 EPs. So I'm excited about that. My son's gonna be a senior this year. I'm nervous about that, but I'm excited. This will be my 12th year working with the district, so that's gonna be interesting. Excited, baby. Nervous. I always get nervous going back to work. Even though I've done this for more than a decade. Once I get back up in there, it's like it just starts to flow again. The gears kick back in, hopefully. But it's been a good one. I got to go to St. Louis. I haven't been to St. Louis, Missouri in a minute. I got to party with my family. I had a good old time. If you follow me on Instagram or social or whatever, I got drunk and I fell on my face. And I had a black eye. I still kind of have a little bump right here. Chat said it's normal, so hopefully it's normal. It doesn't really hurt, really. I would get headaches like about a week or so ago. But it's been a while since that happened, and I haven't really drank since. Well, at my son's birthday party, I did get a Jack and Coke, and it was tough to put it down, but I drank it. Yeah, it's been an interesting time in the world in regards to Trump and the list. If anything, this should unite more people, because it's like, okay, so they're all corrupt. Like, for many people, it was obvious one party was more corrupt than the other, or at least the person representing the party. Now it's like, all right, well, he's just like the other ones, but at least he did a couple good things so far, like when it comes to like trafficking and stuff. The FBI did a couple busts, so if you want the list is out there. It really is. It's been out there for years. The flight log list has been out there. And they got it's a wild list. Trump's not on there. But let's see who was on there. I mean, the people I remember, because they're like famous people to me: Clooney, George Clooney, Clinton, Bill, Tucker, Chris, who admitted that he was on the flights, but he doesn't. He just said, "I didn't do nothing. I was just, with Clinton." Marshall Mathers III. I remember it saying Marshall Mathers III specifically. So then it's like the third. So what if there's a second and first, and what if he does know his father? Dun dun dun. Who knows? I saw something today where somebody put in ChatGPT about like demonic possession and witchcraft and stuff, and it said that Eminem's been like it gave like names, and it said like Eminem's been killed, cloned, Kanye's killed, clones. They use Rihanna as a vessel for like the water goddess or something. Same with Beyonce. They use her as a vessel. I don't know. It's some dark shit, man. And the fact that it's coming to light, and a lot of times I see it on TikTok, and now they're gonna. I heard they're taking away TikTok, and they're gonna do a whole new app. Makes sense. I mean, we were lucky to have it while it lasted, just like we were lucky to have MySpace while it lasted. With that freedom to create and share. And I saw something somewhere that said that Facebook bought it. Somebody bought MySpace and made it so that you can't, and they deleted almost everything. That's why when you try to go back and look at your stuff, I mean, I was able to see like maybe 1 or 2 pictures one time, but now it's like all fucking gone. So yeah, they deleted it. I guess that's a good reason to save your pictures on a hard drive or something so that you don't have to rely on Facebook. I need to tell my mom that because she was deleting pictures the other day. My sister has Google Drive and I have Google Drive, but it's like, how reliable is that? I mean, it's better than just having it on your phone, I guess. You know, if you really need the pictures, I put them on Google Drive and then I put them on another drive. I guess I should talk to my mom about. It's tough talking to your parents about technology, man, and AI, and what's real and what's not real. Especially now, it's tough. I saw a stand-up clip where the dude was like, "I've just been filtered with years of being online, and I just know, I could just tell." And our parents, they don't have that skill. You know what I mean? Shout out to VA Plus. They changed their cans. So yeah, it's been interesting. Luckily, we're not in a World War III yet, as far as we can tell. It's been hot, summertime. But other than that, it's been pretty chill. Working on the album cover, a lot of rest. I've been doing a lot of resting. Oh, I'm helping to raise like 7 kittens. So this bomb cat was born, birthed her kittens, I think, next door. And as they got older, she started bringing them over here. So there's 7 kittens out there who still drink her milk, but I'm still feeding them like soft food and stuff. And bro, they can eat. So I'm going to the store like every other day, almost every day, getting cat food, like, because they won't eat the crunchy food really. They want that the canned food, the soft stuff, the meat. Like, where's the meat? But they're cute. I want to eventually catch one for my son and for a couple different people. But right now they're still breastfeeding off the mama cats. I don't know if you could tell if you're a big fan or if you're a new fan. I'm in a new room, so I have more space now. Same house, different room. That back there, that's gonna be Anxiety News. I got a spot for the movies. Yeah, it's pretty chill. If you saw how small the other room was, it was incredibly tiny. And it's just me like barely moving stuff around so I can get a different background and stuff. Yeah, what else? I went to Missouri. I went to, the other day I went to Ripley's Believe It or Not, and I had a blast. I've been slowly putting the pictures out. I've been using those as posts for content. But I had fun. Definitely had fun. What else? I rewatched Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. And I watched War and Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Fire. Freaking fire, bro. Shout out to Caesar the Ape. And Noah. What else? I've been watching home movies. I've been trying not to watch. So every podcast that I like, I've been saving it to a watch later list. Because since I'm on vacation, I don't want to waste those episodes. Because those episodes get me through the week. When they drop, I mean, because that's what I'm stressed about. Because going to work, you know, I'm wondering how I should go about this school year. I could go about a way that's less stressful in certain ways and more in other ways. I don't really want to talk about it now. We'll talk about it in the school year from now and see how it went. I was supposed to be running, but then when I got hurt, I fell, and hopefully I finish my album recording by the end of this summer break. If not, it is what it is. But yeah. The album has like, oh yeah, so I was saying, like, I've been trying to create more than I consume, so I just been rewatching home movies. Not my home movies, but like the cartoon. I found out my son built a computer, a PC gaming computer, and it's fast. And he was trying to sell it, so I was like, yo, let me buy it off you. So I've been using that to edit, so hopefully that'll speed up. I mean, it's faster than my laptop when it comes to editing and exporting videos. What else? I guess that's it. I mean, I really haven't done much this summer. I just tried to plant some seedlings. Those kittens came out when I got back from Missouri. Before that, I was focused on the album. I've been cooking a lot, cleaning a lot. There's always something to do, especially when you cook and then the dishes. And I'm cooking breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Yo, I need somebody to come take care of me, like financially. I'll be a great stay-at-home husband. I can make some decent dishes. Nothing crazy fancy, but I'll learn. With time and money, I will learn. Yeah, shout out to my cousins in St. Louis. Jackie, Jose, Jacob, Crystal. There's a million cousins I got up there, but those are like the first 4 that top of my head. Ricky. I had fun. I wish I remembered the entire night, but it was funny from hearing what they told me. From the point of me blacking out and telling me like what was going on around me. And I was just like, it's weird being blacked out because you're still you. You still have your personality, but you don't remember that shit at all. It's kind of scary. Interesting. All right, I'm gonna take a break. We'll come back to the random questions. Sorry, I keep looking at this mirror next to this one. I should look just straight at the camera. All right, we'll be right back. Yo, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. We have returned to the Friday podcast random questions. Okay. Number 2,731. I did not do this in order, so I'll be going back to smaller numbers at some point, probably. I will, most definitely. All right, so first question: who or what motivates you? So for me, first person off the top of my head is my son. Those times where everybody's had, I don't know about everybody, I can't speak for everybody, but I've had moments where I've thought about like, yo, life would be easier if I wasn't living it. But for him, I could not, that would be so selfish. And then I think about the rest of my family, my sister, my mom, my dad. but really, and then it's God. It's God. After my son, it's God. It should be God first. And I guess when you get to the root of it, it is because I know that He giveth and taketh away, and He gave me my son. He gave the world my son. He gave my son life, and main motivation right there, baby. All right. Do you consider yourself a team player? I believe so. In my opinion, I believe so. Like when it comes to work and stuff. Now, I'm not a team socializer. But I am a team player. I feel like, in my opinion, I don't know if other people would say the same. If you got to nominate the next president of the United States, who would get your endorsement? Bro, whoever I pick will probably get assassinated. Who would even want to do that? Nobody, because everybody's after you and everybody's on your ass. Now that we've had Obama and Trump and Biden and Clinton and Bush in my lifetime, where can we go from there? Where can we go? Arnold Schwarzenegger, I guess? I don't know. No, wait. Tulsi Gabbard. All right. What or who do you have an unhealthy relationship with? Mary Jane. That's all I'm going to mention for now. Do you have a favorite podcast? Yes. This one. The Friday podcast. Oh, and you know what else? My other favorite podcast. I don't know why I'm writing this down. The Odd Pod. At the Odd Pods channel. Right now we got a new podcast called The Bible Pod. At the Odd Pods channel. They're very good, very good. We just finished Genesis in 3 episodes. 3 1-hour episodes. And we're going to start Exodus next time. It's pretty funny, interesting. I learned some stuff. What is one thing you can do today you could not do a year ago? What can I do today that I could not do a year ago? I mean, it depends on how close to payday it was a year ago, but I guess if we're saying the same day. I mean, last summer I got paid a little bit less because of my position, but something that's more like what changed within a year. I can rap better now. I mean, I could do that then, but I'm better. I'm even better. I don't know. I could change a tire. There's not much that I learned in a year. This makes me feel so bad. One thing you can do today that you could not do a year ago. Explain my position well. My opinion. Boom. Do you think it's a thin line between love and hate? Ooh. What does that even mean, bro? What the fuck does that even mean? A thin line between love and hate? I think it's a dotted line between love and hate. Oh. You know, like when you can turn in the lane and shit? It's a double line. No. Is that true? Do you hate everybody that you love? I guess all I'm thinking about is sometimes your parents can be annoying, or your lover. That's weird to people put in sentences, but within the same sentence. But you know, like your girlfriend, your wife, your husband, your boyfriend. I'm sure there's periods of time where you hate them. Same thing with your siblings and your parents. So I'm guessing hate and love is because you got to have a strong emotional feeling to that person, for that person. So I guess, yeah, whatever the fuck. If you could change one thing about the U.S. Constitution, what would it be? Oh, That's tough. I have to ask Tulsi Gabbard what we should change. You know what I would change? I would change the age. I don't know if there's an age of consent in the Constitution, because I think it's by states. But I think there should be a U.S. Constitution. It should be 20. No 18, no 19, no 21, 20. For everything. Cigarettes, drugs, alcohol, bitches, dicks. No. What's the scariest ghost story you ever heard? I haven't heard that many ghost stories. I'm not really into ghost stories. Everybody that's a Mexican, I guess, has seen or heard of La Llorona. Where it's like a lady whose kids drowned in a creek and she goes and cries about it in that said creek. That's the only one I've heard. I don't really know any. Oh, well, I've heard personal stories from my mom. She told me stories from certain family members and stuff. So those are pretty cool. Like my mom says one time when she was a kid, she stayed at somebody's house, a cousin, and the cousin told her, "But yo, my house is haunted." And then that night, she heard like the doors, cabinets opening. She said, "Why do they always go for the cabinets? Like, are you gonna do dishes? Are you hungry?" But they always fuck with the cabinets, the ghosts. What is something you're afraid to try? Yeah, there's so many things I'm afraid to try. To meet somebody new, to start dating again. To me, those are some of the scariest fucking things. Because it makes you so vulnerable. It makes you so weak. At least me, I feel like in control of the situation. It's like it's all up in the air. It's all in her hands. And I don't like not being in. I don't know. I got issues. Also, skydiving. What's your favorite day of the week? Friday. Actually, I think Saturday, but Friday's dope as fuck. Because Friday you get off. You go to work, but you get off. You're like, shit, I had to work today, but I'm about to come in tomorrow. Yeah. But you know what? Even though my podcast is called Friday Podcast, Saturday is my favorite fucking day. Because you can sleep the fucking with 9 to 5, Monday through Friday jobs. Do you have anything autographed by a celebrity? No. I do not. Wait. This, Chris. Chaos. Boom. What age would you like to retire? I don't know, man. Then retire from what? If I'm rapping, I'm gonna be rapping since I'm 80. I'm like, yeah, I can't even walk no more. Nah, I feel like I can still walk when I'm 80. Hopefully I don't have to work no more. Like I guess 60? Is that the age? I don't know, man. I think 60 is the age. Who is one person from history who was taken too soon? I would say Jesus, but I guess God did that on his time, so I would say Tupac, but good die young. No, I think Tupac would have been good to keep around. Hopefully he wouldn't. Who knows how Tupac will be in this world? DMX, I think DMX should have stayed alive. I feel like he was, even though he lived a long life. I mean, he was like probably like my parents' age, is still very young. Is there anything standing in the way of your happiness? Usually me and my brain. My heart, maybe? My tummy? It's usually myself. All right. That's the random questions for the week. I recommend this from Piccadilly. I found these at a half price, but they got a lot of different cool books when you need like prompts to write and stuff. I love it, man. Love it, man. $25 on my dress up. Yes, sir. Beats right back. All right. Excuse me. Alright, so this is how long I've been having this waiting, because I was going to do this back in June 7th, which is, I don't know where I saw this number, but somewhere I saw it, and it was on June 7th. It was 6767. So, from anahana.com, it says that 6767 combines the powerful energies of 6 and 7. Man, why did I copy that? Oh, it goes on. Excuse me. So 6 resonates with home, family, and nurturing, emphasizing the importance of love, care, and responsibility. 7 relates to spiritual awakening, inner wisdom, and mysticism, highlighting the need for introspection and spiritual growth. Seeing this number is a powerful message from the angels urging you to balance your material and spiritual pursuits. It signifies that you're on the right path and encourages you to maintain a positive mindset as you navigate life's challenges. Engaging in spiritual practices can help you harness the energies of these numbers. This number also emphasizes the importance of inner wisdom and trusting your intuition. The angels are reminding you to listen to your inner voice and follow the guidance it provides. By doing so, you can achieve success in your personal and spiritual journey. From yourhigherjourney.com says, we all feel emotions, but when they control us, they can blur our vision. The 6767 angel number reminds you to stay calm and collected. It's a sign to acknowledge your emotions, but don't let them dictate your actions. Man, it's hard to do in certain instances, I know. When you find yourself in challenging situations, take a deep breath, step back, and approach things from a clear perspective. Remember, wise decisions are made with a clear head, not a clouded one. RyanHart.org says that 6 means it's a symbol of mankind's imperfection and sin in the Bible. On the 6th day of creation, God made man in his own image. It's from Genesis 1:27. Then in Genesis 6:6, God repents for creating man because they are only filled with evil and corrupt thoughts. 6 will always be a reminder that Christ died to forgive our sins. 7 is a symbol of physical and spiritual perfection or completeness in the Bible. Creation was complete on the 7th day when God rested. Nothing more needed to be added or removed, and therefore it was perfect. The book of Revelation describes 7 trumpets that will announce the rapture. When the 7th trumpet sounds, the kingdom of the world has become the kingdom of our Lord and of his Messiah, and he will reign forever and ever. At that point, that's from Revelation 11:15. At that point, his kingdom will be complete. Wow. So it's like a balance of good and evil. 67. The yin and the yang, baby. All right. So, months ago, this is months. I was helping my brother-in-law and my sister move from one apartment complex to their new place. And at the old complex, I saw a barn swallow. It was striking because of the tail. The tail of a swallow makes you like, yo. So wild-bird-watching.com says that one of the most remarkable aspects of barn swallows is their unparalleled migration prowess. These birds undertake one of the longest migration routes spanning thousands of miles. From their breeding grounds in the northern hemisphere, including North America and Europe, these winged wonders embark on a journey to their wintering grounds in the southern hemisphere, encompassing Africa, South America, and Asia. And worldwide, baby. Symbolism and folklore. Across various cultures, swallows hold a special place as symbols of good luck, love, and hope. In ancient Greece, sailors believed swallows embodied the souls of deceased seafarers, and the sight of a swallow at sea was deemed a positive omen, signaling the proximity of land. Swallows nesting near homes were considered harbingers of good fortune. Significance in Japan and the land of the rising sun. I don't know what that means. I'm sorry if that's offensive. This is from wildbirdwatching.com. Well, there's a dash between each word. Swallows are revered for their connection to changing seasons. Their arrival heralds the onset of spring, a season associated with renewal and new beginnings. That was whack, man. I should have been like, manly yell. The Japanese proverb, Hirundu rustica saku, means the barn swallow blooms, celebrates personal growth and maturation. Beyond their symbolic importance, barn swallows play a vital role in agriculture. They're nature's pest control. They consume flying insects, including crop-damaging pests and mosquitoes. Farmers have historically welcomed swallows around barns and fields, recognizing their contribution to natural pest management. Their flight and distinctive appearance have inspired artists, poets, and writers throughout history, symbolizing freedom, agility, and the fleeting nature of life. They have found place in various works of art and literature, adding to their timeless allure. Spiritualrealm.org. Embrace the barn swallow symbolism of adaptability and resilience, reminding us to navigate life's changes with grace. The barn swallow invites us to appreciate the beauty and simplicity and find joy in the small moments that make up our lives. Just as these birds return home each year, let the spiritual meaning inspire you to cultivate a sense of belonging and connection within yourself. Allow the barn swallow's presence to serve as a gentle reminder that change is necessary for growth, encouraging us to embrace transformation on our own spiritual journeys. Heavy, man. Watching them in flight can be a meditative experience that helps quiet the mind and allows for introspection. Their swift movements through the air remind us to let go of our worries and embrace the present moment. Observing their synchronized aerial displays can also inspire a sense of unity and interconnectedness with all living beings. Furthermore, barn swallows build intricate nests using materials they gather from surroundings. This symbolizes the importance of creating a nurturing environment for ourselves and others. By observing their dedication to nest building, we're encouraged to cultivate loving relationships, create harmonious spaces, and foster a sense of belonging. In addition, barn swallows are highly social creatures that often form tight-knit communities. They communicate with each other through various vocalizations and body language. Witnessing their cooperative behaviors teach us about the power of collaboration, empathy, and effective communication in our own human interactions. Interesting. That kind of pushes me towards one way more than another way for the style of maintaining my mental prowess, or if I'm going to be able to. Because it could be tough, man. It could be tough. It's not a job for the weak. For the mentally weak. I don't know what job that is. Any job I've had has got to be like, you got to deal with some shit. So it is what it is, right? Alright, so I had this dream a while back during a time where I was not buying blunts. I mean, I never buy blunts really, so that's why it was interesting. I haven't bought blunts in years. So Cosmic Learnings. So I had a dream about buying blunts. CosmicLearnings.com says cigars have been seen as a symbol of luxury, success, and power for many years. In dreams, cigar symbolism can represent these things. If you dream of smoking a cigar, it may be a sign that you are feeling in control of your life or are experiencing some success in a particular area. It can also signify that you're confident and self-assured in your decisions and actions. Another important factor to consider is the setting of the dream. Are you in a familiar or unfamiliar place? Is it a peaceful or chaotic environment? These details can also contribute to the interpretation of the dream. For instance, smoking a cigar in a luxurious setting may symbolize a desire for wealth or status, while smoking in a stressful environment could represent a need for relaxation and stress relief. From thedreammeaning.com says, another important factor to consider is the setting. Are you in a familiar or unfamiliar place? Oh, I just said that. That's the same sheet. All right. Your actions with cigars can help interpret the dream in detail. So taking it, a deception is possible. Buying one, financial stability. Selling one, failure of your plans. Someone gave a cigar to you as a present. You'll receive money from somebody. You light a cigar. You're striving for sexual contacts. Finish smoking. Health decline. I don't know. Burn your lips. Adultery. I don't know. Putting out a cigar. Bad news will upset you. I don't know. I hope not. Hopefully those are negative ones. I mean, hopefully those don't pertain to anybody. All right. World O Dreams. World with an O and then dreams.com. Dream of buying a cigar signifies that go about your business and let others do what they think is right. You may think too much about it, and that is not convenient for your peace of mind. The antidote will be to do some sport and physical exercise, but you will have to overcome laziness. You share your doubts with someone you trust and who is reliable. Disguise and make the effort to listen, even if it is only for a while. Beyond celebration, the dream of buying cigars represents your desire for indulgence and sophistication, dear dreamer. It speaks to your longing for a refined and elevated experience in various aspects of your life. Just as you felt amused while purchasing the cigars in your dream, it signifies, that's the chair in the wall. I didn't fart. It signifies your yearning for a touch of luxury and elegance. Embrace this desire by seeking out opportunities that allow you to explore your sophisticated side. Interesting. Whether it be through trying out new experiences, expanding your knowledge in a specific field, or surrounding yourself with refined aesthetics, let your heart lead you towards the experiences that bring you utmost joy and satisfaction. Your journey towards sophistication, dear dreamer, is a testament to your discerning taste and admirable character. Soon. Buying a cigar in a dream shows that asking for help when you need it does not make you less than anyone else. You need a new project or a new illusion, but be clear that nobody is going to take it to your house. You learn from a mistake and change your approach to relationships with children or family. You can adapt yourself amazingly, although to do so, you must get rid of some of your prejudices. Accepting certain changes from within you is important. Future. Dreaming about a cigar indicates that every idea that springs from your mind will be a success. Circumstances are changing, but you will always go with yourself. Relationships will be much better if you engage with them with more interest than usual. The game of love will get you out of depression and boredom, but it does not guarantee marriage. Without realizing it, you will try to organize the life of the people around you. Whoa, that's a lot. World of Dreams, dear dreamer. That's a lot. But some of those things, I feel like it was talking directly at your boy. All right. We'll be right back with anxiety news. Then we'll have movie review, badass woman in history, and a freestyle, and we roll. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Prices stay rolling. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Friday Podcast Anxiety News segment. It's a few hours later since I recorded this first half of the podcast. Hence the shirt change. I got sweaty, did some yard work, cooked, cleaned, did a bunch of shit, right? So we're back. So today from SidePost, that's PSYPOST.org, brain rhythms tied to social anxiety may explain why mistakes linger in memory. Ooh, boy, do they ever? Like yesterday, like mistakes, good things you do, that goes out of your memory, like short-term memory, real quick. With those mistakes, for some reason, they last the longest. People with higher levels of social anxiety are more likely to remember faces they saw while making mistakes. And this may be due to how their brains respond to errors in the moment. A new study published in Cognitive, Affective, and Behavioral Neuroscience suggests that social anxiety is linked to enhanced neural activity in the brain's monitoring system during errors, which in turn predicts stronger memory for those moments. This finding could help explain why social anxiety persists over time and may eventually guide more targeted treatments. The authors of the study sought to better understand how social anxiety affects the way people process and remember social situations. According to psychological models, individuals with social anxiety tend to focus more on their mistakes and perceived flaws in social settings. Bing, bing, bing. This heightened self-focus can lead to biased memories, where negative moments are more likely to be remembered than positive or neutral ones. These memory biases can reinforce anxious beliefs and behaviors, creating a cycle that maintains or worsens social anxiety over time. While previous research has shown that people with social anxiety exhibit stronger brain responses to errors, it remained unclear whether those neural responses had any lasting impact, such as changing how people remember what happened during social mistakes. Faux pas, you could say. The goal of the new study was to test whether brain activity related to error monitoring could help explain the memory biases seen in socially anxious individuals. Quote, our research highlights two key findings regarding individuals with higher social anxiety symptoms, unquote, Hosseini said. First, they demonstrate heightened brain activity when registering their own mistakes, reflecting more intensive error monitoring. Second, they show an enhanced ability to recall contextual details that were present when those errors occurred, even without actively trying to memorize them. This combination points toward a potential brain mechanism contributing to social anxiety. The act of monitoring errors more intensely may inadvertently strengthen the memory trace for associated information present during those moments. So we gotta monitor more closely positive instances and neutral ones instead of the negative ones. It's easier for some reason. It's more addictive. It's like candy. Like, oh, the negative one. Nah. But a positive one's like eating fruit. Like, yo, you know what? That was a positive interaction. I want to think about that for a little while. I'm actually going to write that down. That's what I need to start doing. That's very interesting. I like that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next time on Anxiety News. Doo-doo. Hey, let's all go to the movies. Hopefully they don't sue me. Let's all go to the movies. Alright, so I watched this movie a couple months ago. The way I have most of this stuff I got months ago. And I was pleasantly surprised. Rogue One, a Star Wars story. I grew up, I had the OG, I'm talking about the triple OG trilogy on VHS. Episode 4, 5, and 6. And then as 1, 2, and 3 came out, I had those as well. Man, I wish I would have kept that. I thought I sold all of them. Anyway, so those are cool. Then my son, Then I had a son in '08. And as he got older, he was about 6 or 7 or 5, he was really into Angry Birds. And Angry Birds did a Star Wars version. And so we got into it. We got like really interested in the game. We played a lot. And I would tell him about the story. Like, oh, this is Darth Vader and blah, blah, blah. And so then I was able to get him to watch the movies, and it was a really cool bonding experience. And then after that, I mean, I liked Mandalorian. I watched a few episodes of the first season with him, with my son. I watched the second season. It was pretty dope. And that's it. I mean, I don't even remember if I watched 7, 8, and 9. I know I watched a couple of them. I may have watched it. I may have watched them all on Disney Plus at some point, but I don't know. They weren't as dope. But anyway, so I like the Star Wars universe. Oh, I watched the Solo movie, the Han Solo movie, and I don't remember anything about it. But I also really like the Obi-Wan show. The Obi-Wan Kenobi show. Oh, I did like it. All right. So anyway, I was like, yo, I haven't seen this one. It's a prequel. You know, what's up with it? And I didn't know there was a show out that has the characters, or at least Diego Luna. It's like a prequel to this prequel. It's a prequel series to the prequel movie. So Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, is a 2016 epic space opera film directed by Gareth Edwards and written by Chris Weitz and Tony Gilroy. Produced by Lucasfilm and distributed by Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures. It is the first Star Wars anthology film and a prequel to Star Wars 1977. It stars Felicity Jones, Diego Luna, Ben Mendelsohn, Donnie Yen, Mads Mikkelsen, Alan Tudyk, sorry if I'm saying all these names wrong, Riz Ahmed, yo, what a name, Jane Nguyen, and Forrest Whitaker. Set a week before the events of Star Wars, Rogue One follows rebels who steal the schematics for the Galactic Empire's ultimate weapon, the Death Star. It details the Rebel Alliance's first effective victory against the Empire, as referenced in the Star Wars opening crawl. Felicity Jones as Jyn Erso, a young renegade who is detained for her crimes against the Empire, until she is freed by the Rebel Alliance to help steal the plans for the Death Star. Bo Gadson as 8-year-old Jyn, and then her sister Dolly Gadsden as 4-year-old Jyn. Diego Luna as Cassian Andor. Oh, that's what the show is called, Andor, which I kind of want to watch it because of how good this movie was. A rebel captain and intelligence officer. Ben Mendelsohn as Orson Krennic, the director of advanced weapons research for the Imperial military. Donnie Yen as Chirrut Imwe, a blind warrior who believes in the Force but is not a Jedi or a Sith. He is said to be one of the guardians of the Whills. Mads Mikkelsen as Galen Erso. It's pretty cool. He's the one who played in the series Hannibal. He plays Hannibal, and then he's also the bad guy in the first Doctor Strange. Alan Tudyk as the voice and motion capture of K2SO, a former Imperial enforcer droid who was reprogrammed to serve the rebellion. Forgot about that robot. Riz Ahmed as Body Rook, a former Imperial cargo pilot who defects to the rebels under the influence of Galen Erso. Oh yeah, I think he's the one that goes through like a whole thing just trying to get this information to somebody. Jane Nguyen as Baze Malbus, a longtime companion of Chirrut Imwe and one-time devoted guardian of the Wills, now rebel, warrior, and a mercenary. Forrest Whitaker is a pretty badass character as Saw Gerrera, a veteran of the Clone Wars and a friend of the Erso family who had mentored Jyn in her later childhood years. So I wonder if Saw Gerrera is in the Clone Wars animated show. I'm sure if I look it up, it'll tell me, but that'd be dope.
So Jimmy Smits, Genevieve O'Reilly, Anthony Daniels, and Jimmy V reprised their roles from previous films as Bail Organa, Mon Mothma, C-3PO, and R2-D2, respectively. V is uncredited for his role. James Earl Jones also reprises his role from previous films as the voice of Darth Vader, who was physically portrayed by Spencer Wilding during the meeting with Krennic and aboard the Star Destroyer, and by Daniel Napris at the end of the movie. So in 2003, during the production of Episode 3 in Sydney, John Knoll, the visual effects supervisor for all three prequels, pitched an episode for the unproduced series Star Wars Underworld. At the time, he had written a short treatment called Destroyer of Worlds. After the Disney acquisition, he felt as though he had to pitch it again, or forever wonder what might have happened if I had. In May of 2014, Disney announced that Gareth Edwards would direct the film and that Gary Whitta would write the script. In October of the same year, cinematographer Greg Fraser revealed that he was hired to work on the film. In January of 2015, it was revealed that Whitta had completed his work on the script and would no longer be involved with the project. You know, I'm watching something right now. It's hard for them to make movies, it seems like, because when the studio gets involved and then the writers and the directors and they're clashing. Simon Kinberg was considered as a replacement. Later that month, it was announced that Chris Weitz had signed to continue the script's development for the film. Oh, and I just found out, because I was watching this one about Hancock, the movie, that Vince Gilligan, the guy who wrote Breaking Bad, and, you know, the creator of Breaking Bad, he rewrote the script for Hancock. So in March of 2015, the title Rogue One was officially revealed. Edwards stated the style of the film would be similar to that of a war film, stating it's the reality of war. Good guys are bad, bad guys are good. It's complicated, layered, a very rich scenario in which to set a movie. Indeed. This is like one of the best Star Wars movies ever. And there's no Yoda. Assuming Disney would not allow a dark ending, Edwards had the main character surviving in the original version of the script. However, the producers opted for a more tragic ending and never filmed the original version. Yeah, because movies, they always have to have a good, happy ending. And the fact that this one, he ended up having to die at the end. At the 2016 Star Wars Celebration, Edwards said that the film's title had three underlying meanings. A military sign, referring to the Red Squadron from A New Hope, the Rogue One of the franchise, given it is the first film to not be part of the main saga, and a description of Jyn Erso's personality. Wow. On November 8th of 2018, it was announced that a live-action prequel series was officially in development and set to air on Disney's streaming service, Disney+. I kind of want to check that out. The series takes place 5 years before the events in Rogue One and focuses on Cassian Andor, with Diego Luna reprising the role. Diego Luna played a badass cartel drug lord in Narcos Mexico. He's a good actor. The first season debuted on September 21st, 2022, and focuses on Cassian's involvement in the rebellion. The second and final season debuted on April 22nd of this year.
with its series finale released on May 13th. So it just ended. I wonder if it ends pretty well. Like, it doesn't end like right up to Rogue One or what? I'm gonna have to watch this show because of this. I forgot about how good this movie was. The main character's good. She's not even a Jedi, and it's just badass. The robot's cool. The rebellion, the way that's like so deep into the history of it, I love it. 5 stars. One of the best Star Wars movies ever. Badass movie. Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to almost the finale of this episode of the Friday podcast. We're gonna do Badass Woman of History. All right, Maya Angelou. I like the angle right here. That's a little better. So Maya Angelou, born Margaret Annie Johnson on April 4th, 1928. She passed May 28, 2014. She was an American memoirist, poet, and civil rights activist. She published 7 autobiographies, 3 books of essays, several books of poetry, and is credited with a list of plays, movies, and TV shows spanning over 50 years. She received dozens of awards and more than 50 honorary degrees. Angelou's series of 7 autobiographies focuses on her childhood and her early adult experiences. The first, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, from 1969, tells of her life up to the age of 17 and brought her international recognition and acclaim. Well, that's the year my mom was born. I've heard of that book, but I haven't read it. I should read it. She became a poet and a writer after a string of odd jobs during her young adulthood. These included fry cook, sex worker, nightclub performer, Porgy and Bess cast member, Southern Christian Leadership Conference coordinator, and correspondent in Egypt and Ghana during the decolonization of Africa. Wow. She was also an actress, writer, director, and producer of plays, movies, and public television programs. In 1982, she was named the first Reynolds Professor of American Studies at Wake Forest University in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Angelou was active in the civil rights movement and worked with Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X. Beginning in the 1990s, she made approximately 80 appearances a year on the lecture circuit, something she continued into her 80s. In 1993, Angelou recited her poem on the Pulse of Morning, which she wrote in 1993, at the first inauguration of Bill Clinton, making her the first poet to make an inaugural recitation since Robert Frost at the inauguration of John F. Kennedy in 1961. Maya Angelou was born Margaret Annie Johnson in St. Louis, Missouri. I was just there this summer. Shout out to the family. The younger of 2 children of Bailey Johnson, a doorman and Navy dietitian, and Vivian Johnson, a nurse and card dealer. For the first 3 years of her life, her family lived in her maternal grandparents' home. Angelou's older brother Bailey Jr., nicknamed Margaret Maya, derived from Maya's sister. When Angelou was 3 and her brother 4, their parents' calamitous marriage ended and their father sent them to Stamps, Arkansas, alone by train, to live with their paternal grandmother, Annie Henderson. Oh, that sucks. In an astonishing exception to the harsh economics of African Americans of the time, Angelou's grandmother prospered financially during the Great Depression and World War II because the general store she owned sold basic and needed commodities, and because she made wise and honest investments. Quote unquote, she made wise and honest. I don't know where that quote's from. So it was good that she went. She learned a lot. 4 years later, when Angelou was 7 and her brother 8, the children's father came to Stamps without warning and returned them to their mother's care in St. Louis. Damn, back in the day, you just threw your kids around wherever. At the age of 8, while living with her mother, Angelou was sexually abused and raped by her mother's boyfriend, a man named Freeman. She told her brother, who told the rest of the family. Freeman was found guilty, but was jailed for only 1 day. 4 days after his release, he was murdered, probably by Angelou's uncles. Angelou became mute for almost 5 years, believing she was to blame for his death. As she stated, "I thought my voice killed him. I killed that man because I said his name. Because I told his name. And then I thought I would never speak again because my voice would kill anyone." According to Marcia Ann Gillespie and her colleagues who wrote a biography about Angelou, it was during this period of science when Angelou developed her extraordinary memory, her love for books and literature, and her ability to listen and observe the world around her. Shortly after Freeman's murder, when Angelou was 8 and her brother 9, Angelou and her brother were sent back to their grandmother. She attended the Lafayette County Training School in Stamps, Rosenwald School. Angelou credits a teacher and friend of her family, Mrs. Bertha Flowers, what a cool teacher name, Mrs. Flowers, with helping her speak again, challenging her by saying, "You do not love poetry, not until you speak it." Flowers introduced her to Charles Dickens, William Shakespeare, Edgar Allan Poe, Georgia Douglas Johnson, and James Weldon Johnson, authors who would affect Angelou's life. If I'm saying her name wrong, I apologize. I feel like I heard Angelo, St. Lou. Angelou from the Lou, as well as black female artists such as Frances Harper, Ann Spencer, and Jessie Fawcett. When Maya Angelou was 14 and her brother 15, she and her brother moved once again with their mother, who had since moved to Oakland, California, West, y'all. During World War II, Angelou attended the California Labor School. At the age of 16, she became the first black female streetcar conductor in San Francisco. She wanted the job badly, admiring the uniforms of the operators, describing the women in uniforms as having their little money changing belts and with bibs on their caps and well-fitted uniforms. So much so that her mother referred to it as her dream job. Her mother encouraged her to pursue the position, but warned her that she would need to arrive early and work harder than the others. In 2014, Angelou received the Lifetime Achievement Award from the Conference of Minority Transportation Officials as part of a session billed "Women Who Move the Nation." 3 weeks after completing school at the age of 17, she gave birth to her son, Clyde, who later changed his name to Guy Johnson. Adulthood and early career from 1951 to 61. In 1951, Maya Angelou married Tosh Angelos. Angelos. Well, a Greek electrician, former sailor, aspiring musician, despite the condemnation of interracial relationships at the time and the disapproval of her mother. She took modern dance classes during this time and met dancers and choreographers Alvin Ailey and Ruth Buckford. Ailey and Angelou formed a dance team calling themselves Al and Rita and performed modern dance at fraternal black organizations throughout San Francisco, but never became successful. Angelou, her new husband, and her son moved to New York City so she could study African dance with Trinidadian dancer Pearl Primus, but they returned to San Fran a year later. After Angelou's marriage ended in 1954, she danced professionally in clubs around San Francisco, including the nightclub The Purple Onion, where she sang and danced to calypso music. Up to that point, she went by the name of Margaret Johnson, or Rita, but at the strong suggestion of her managers and supporters at the Purple Onion, she changed her professional name to Maya Angelou, her nickname and former married surname. It was a distinctive name that set her apart and captured the feel of her calypso dance performances. During 1955, Angelou toured Europe with the production of the opera Porgy and Bess. She began her practice of learning the language of every country she visited. And in a few years, she gained proficiency in several languages. Now remember, she had the the memorization that she practiced on whenever she wasn't talking for 5 years. In 1957, riding on the popularity of Calypso, Angelo recorded her first album, Miss Calypso, which was reissued as a CD in 1996. She appeared in an off-Broadway revue that inspired the 1957 film Calypso Heatwave, in which Angelo sang and performed her own compositions. Angelo met novelist John Oliver Killens in 1959 and at his urging moved to New York to concentrate on her writing career. She joined the Harlem Writers Guild, where she met several major African American authors, including John Henrik Clarke, Rosa Guy, Paul Marshall, and Julian Mayfield, and was published for the first time. In 1960, after meeting civil rights leader Martin Luther King Jr. and hearing him speak, she and Killens organized the legendary Cabaret for Freedom to benefit the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, and she was named SCLC's Northern Coordinator. According to scholar Lyman B. Hagen, her contributions to civil rights as a fundraiser and SCLC organizer were successful and eminently effective. She also began her pro-Castro and anti-apartheid activism during this time, joining the Fair Play for Cuba Committee. She had joined the crowd cheering for Fidel Castro when he first entered the Hotel Teresa in Harlem, New York, during the United Nations 15th General Assembly on September 19th, 1960. So when I think 1960, I think 40 years ago, right? But then you got to add, that's the 2000. Then you got to add the 20 and the 5, so that's, what was it, 1960? So 40, 50, 65 years ago. Ooh. In 1961, Angelo performed in I have to keep saying Maya Angelou in my head to say it right. Maya Angelou performed in John Ganet's play The Blacks, playing the part of the Queen, along with Abby Lincoln, Roscoe Lee Brown, James Earl Jones, who we talked about earlier, because he was the voice of Darth Vader, Louis Gossett, Godfrey Cambridge, and Cicely Tyson. Also in 1961, she met South African freedom fighter Visumsi Maki, which they never officially married. She and her son Guy moved with Maki to Cairo, where Angelo served as an associate editor of the weekly English language newspaper, The Arab Observer. Man, she moved so many places. In 1962, her relationship with Maki ended, and she and Guy moved to Accra, Ghana, so he could attend college. But he was seriously injured in an automobile accident. Angelo remained in Accra for his recovery and ended up staying there until 1965. She became an administrator at the University of Ghana and was active in the African American expatriate community. I guess those are African Americans who went over there to Africa. She was a feature editor for the African Review, a freelance writer for the Ghanaian Times, wrote and broadcast for Radio Ghana, and worked and performed for Ghana's National Theater. No matter where she went, she was thriving. She performed in a revival of the Blacks in Geneva and Berlin. In Accra, she became close friends with Malcolm X during his visit in the early 1960s. Angelo returned to the U.S. in 1965 to help him build a new civil rights organization, the Organization of Afro-Americans Unity. He was assassinated shortly afterwards. Devastated and adrift, she joined her brother in Hawaii, where she resumed her singing career. She moved back to LA to focus on her writing career. Working as a market researcher in Watts, Angelo witnessed the riots in the summer of 1965. She acted in and wrote plays and returned to New York in 1967. She met her lifelong friend Rosa Guy and renewed her friendship with James Baldwin, whom she had met in Paris in the 1950s and called my brother during this time. Her friend Jerry Purcell provided Angelou with the stipend to support her writing. Nice. In 1968, Martin Luther King Jr. asked Angelou to organize a march. She agreed, but postponed again, and in what Gillespie calls a macabre twist of fate, he was assassinated on her 40th birthday, April 4th. Devastated again, she was encouraged out of her depression by her friend James Baldwin. As Gillespie states, if 1968 was a year of great pain, loss, and sadness, it was also the year when America first witnessed the breadth and depth of Maya Angelou's spirit and creative genius. Despite having almost no experience, she wrote, produced, and narrated Black's Blues Black, a 10-part series of documentaries about the connection between blues music and Black Americans' African heritage, and what Angelou called the Africanism still current in the U.S. for National Education Television, the precursor of PBS. Also in 1968, inspired at a dinner party she attended with Baldwin, cartoonist Jules Feiffer and his wife Judy, and challenged by Random House editor Robert Loomis, she wrote her first autobiography, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, published in 1969. That brought her international recognition and acclaim. Wow. So what she could teach us, what this teaches us, is to not stop. No matter what. Keep going. Wow. Amazing. Truly amazing. Maya Angelou, R.I.P. Alright. We're gonna come back with the freestyle flow, and then we're gonna go. Yeah. Alright, this is a track I found. Oh shit. It's been a minute since I freestyle, yo. Yo, this beat is called Smoke Skunk. I just smoked some skunk. I ain't no punk. Try not to eat no motherfucking junk food. I'm in a good mood. Sometimes I be feeling rude. It's not personal. It's not personal. Sometimes I'm in a bad mood. It's not personal. It's not personal. Alright. Every once in a while, man, I be acting kind of wild, man. The anger get is holding me. Man, somebody should have scolded me or told me. No, that's fucked. That's whack. That's whack. Let's find another beat, bro. I'm not feeling it. This one's called Please. Let's see how this goes. Man, it's freestyling is not easy, especially with the lights on me and shit. Woo. Yeah. Yeah, and I've been writing too. Man, I got a blue shirt. I gotta do work. Where do you work? Where does it work? Man, I ain't a jerk, but sometimes an asshole. Gotta stack up my cash rolls. Looking like Castro when he was in his 20s. Hoes, I got plenty. But I ain't fucking with no Jimmy. I mean no strap on it. Ain't no cap on it. There's some dap on it. I'ma rap on it. Yeah, it's the motherfucking lyrical genius. My head is bigger than my penis. Nah, man, that sucks. I mean, the beat doesn't suck, it's me. Alright, we're on to another one. It's got Spider-Man. Yo. Alright, I think I got a good starter line. Smoking on that sticky. Call me Peter Parker. Call me Peter Parker. Call me Peter Parker. I'm smoking on that sticky icky. Some call it spider web. I call it dead. Cause if I don't have it, I wish I'm dead. And when I do, man, I'm feeling fed. laid down on the bed, feeling like Judge Dredd. You know that comic book character? I'm eating carrots, bruh. Like, damn, what's up, Doc? Hoes get up off my jock. Never loved a cop unless they're a good one. Oh man, I got a good gun. I also got a good son. And it's a good run. And it's that good gun. Her name is Holly Grove. Getting mildly though. Man, I'm tired, bro. Don't know what I'm about to flow. I'm reading on my Bible. Looking for revival. Oh, my damn spirit. Heaven, I don't fear it. In fact, I'm coming near it. Yeah, and you can hear it. Yeah, and so they cheer it. Yeah. I guess that's alright. What's this one? Yeah. Okay. This is one more time. I'ma spray all these rhymes. I'ma spray all these rhymes. I'ma drop all these bars. They so high, like the stars. I'm on Mars, steady cruising. The way that you talking is leading to a bruising. When you rap, I be snoozing. Man, you just boozing. A little too much, man. Find me on the fucking plane, ducking all the lanes, bucking like Rick James. Fuck your couch. Yeah. Alright, y'all. That's it. I love y'all. I'm outie. Peace.
"2020, no fear. Fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, hate leads to suffering, so scared is what I ain't. Fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, hate leads to suffering, so scared is what I ain't. To the colonizers, my people was savage, while they raped and stole, only leaving us Spanish. Agriculturally advanced, but they had the cannons, had disease to infect so that we would vanish. That shit was lighter than ours, so they had the advantage. White supremacy's a joke, cause white dicks below average. From the Native Americans, giving liquor for land, to melanated enslaved who built it all by hand. Chinese died building roads, it all stems from jealousy. The Hitler's genocide, so fuck white supremacy. If we're the tribes of Israel, that's why some of us miserable. They try and separate us, but we are indivisible. Literal individuals, bound by the spiritual, connected to my people via metaphysical. Staying positive's priority. I need my mind strong, no fear, no hate, baby, always ready for the wrong. Fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, hate leads to suffering, so scared is what I ain't. Fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, hate leads to suffering, so scared is what I ain't. Sometimes I almost